Frank. It's time for number 8 on the list. It's The Stuff. So The Stuff is a 1985 film by one Larry Cohen. So there's this main character played by Michael Moriarty. His name is David Rutherford, but his friends call him Mo because he always wants Mo.
Rutherford, Mo Rutherford. You know why they call me Mo?
No, why?
Because every time people give me money, I always want Mo.
That's his stupid little tagline that he always tells everybody. Anyway, film stars him, Michael Moriarty, Andrea Markovici. Sorry if I murdered that. Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live. You remember Garrett Morris. Paul Sorvino, Scott Bloom, Danny Aiello. And more. People that you've never heard of before. Anyway. So, The Stuff. Brief synopsis. The Stuff is a movie about an alien substance that apparently tastes delicious.
When I was a little girl, I didn't think there was anything that I liked better than ice cream. Now I'm a big girl, and I've decided there's something I like better. Much better.
It gets marketed as a dessert or treat. People start eating massive quantities of it, and the stuff kind of like takes over their brain and makes them basically do whatever it wants them to do. Michael Moriarty's character is a industrial espionage expert / spy. Used to work for the FBI but got kicked out, and now he does like private corporate work. And his job, he's being hired by the Stuff's competition to like infiltrate the agency that makes the stuff and figure out like what the secret ingredients are. Why does it taste so good? Why is everybody addicted to it? In the course of doing this, he meets this kid for no discernible reason. There's like literally no discernible reason why this kid is even a part of it, who is the only one who seems to understand that the stuff is dangerous. He also meets this woman who's the head of like the ad agency that does all the ads for the stuff. For some reason, she tags along on this. Anyway, that's the basic gist of the film. He's trying to figure out like what the deal is with the stuff. And obviously he figures out that it is dangerous, not good for you, even though it is delicious. Now, for your thoughts, you wrote on Twitter, not much to say here other than there's a few good lines. Very silly and odd. No. This is probably the first film out of all the films that I have watched so far that I just vehemently have not enjoyed at all. Like, I hate this film. I hate the stuff. It was horrible. There was nothing good about it. The acting was bad. A lot of the writing was bad. The acting was bad. A lot of the directorial decisions didn't really make sense. The movie felt like it was just sort of like slapped together. It felt like they had shot a bunch of scenes and the editing was just like the least amount of editing they could possibly do. Like, let's just like almost like a bunch of stuff just played out in like, long masters. And then they would just slap in cuts of like close-ups and stuff whenever necessary or whenever they needed to cut away from something. It just, the whole thing just felt like the cheapest, crappiest B-movies that I had seen. It felt like a throwback to like 60s drive-in films is what it was, to me. It's horrible. This movie is horrible. The acting is not good in it. So Michael Moriarty, who's the main character, he is supposed to like infiltrate the stuff and find out like what it's made of. And so in the process of doing this, we spend a lot of time. This dude is like he's like an expert in industrial espionage. So he's like trying to use and he's ex-FBI as well. So he's using all these like, you know, I don't know how you say it, like characters and stuff. Like he's creating all these personas that he's using throughout the film, and they're all ridiculous. They're all stupid. He's using he uses like different voices, different, you know, accents and stuff like that. And it's just dumb. This whole movie is dumb. Like I hate to like oversimplify, but it's just like this movie is like a 13-year-old boy from like the 70s wrote this movie, was like, this is gonna be great, you know, and like writes it all down, writes it into a script, like longhand and in like a loose leaf notebook. And then like Larry Cohen like saw this script and was like, this is genius. I can make this on a budget, you know, on a cheap budget, and like goes out and makes it. And it's garbage. It's garbage. I hated it. I hated this movie. I literally just got to a point where basically when the main characters meet up with like the army group or whatever, basically at that point I kind of just stopped watching the film. Like I just started like looking at my phone and doing like other stuff because I just didn't care anymore, you know? The plot is so dumb and convoluted and just, it's so amateurishly made. But here's the thing. You could take the seed of the idea of the stuff right now. You could take that seed and you could create a really amazing remake if you did a good job of writing it. You know, whoever takes the idea of the stuff, the basic principle behind the story, and creates a much better script out of it would have a hit. I have no doubt about it at all. I think you'd have an instant hit on your hands because the basic premise of it is a good idea. You know, alien substance, tastes delicious, but basically takes over your brain, causes you to do things. Is it a metaphor for the, you know, crack cocaine problem that they had in the 80s? Maybe, probably. I mean, the stuff is white, you know, it's delicious, air quotes again, don't know why. So is it a metaphor for that? Probably. But who cares, right? Because the movie is so horrible. It's like, who really cares? I couldn't even get through the whole thing, and still pay attention to it. It's garbage. Don't watch this movie. If you're a person watching this video, and in other words, if you're not Frank and you're watching this video, if you have not seen the stuff, do not watch this movie. It's not worth your time. I do not recommend it at all.
It was one of those ones that just kept showing up on my list. I'm like, I gotta watch it at some point. And I'm like, I gotta just shove it on to Stewart. Stewart, you gotta see this. See it. Tell me what you think of it. Make a video review of it. Tell me what you think. You know, just what do you think of it? Because it's just one of those ones like, I just want someone else to see it. It's like a curse. It's like, I don't want this. Here, take it.
Okay, so I just got done watching your video about the first 10 movies, and your like part about the stuff makes me feel a lot better about my opinion, because basically you were kind of like, it's garbage, you know. I watched it and it's kind of garbage, and now I need you to watch it so I can confirm that it's garbage. So anyways, yes, it is garbage. It's garbage. So don't watch the stuff. If anybody tells you you should watch the stuff, tell them to shove it. That would be my suggestion.
Still waiting on that heifer, Julio. You, you're cool. And you, I'm out.
Next up is the 1956 Gregory Peck version of Moby Dick. This should be an interesting one. You kind of sold this to me on your video, so I'm interested to watch it. So we'll see. But anyway, until next time, Frank, and anybody else who's watching this, have a good one.